Thank you for joining me at this odd time, odd day, odd time. Um, yeah, I will explain my illness, if you even can call it that. I don't know. What is going on back there? Oh, nothing. Okay. I thought my computer was doing something weird. Anyway, um, where do you even start? Okay, so a couple months ago, I woke up in the middle of the night and my stomach was hurting. But, big deal. You wake up, whatever. So it hurt for a few hours. I couldn't get back to sleep. Forget about it. Well, a little while later, I don't even know when this is happening because it's like, it's a stomach ache. Who pays attention to that? Nobody. So it happened again. Um, Short, I mean, I don't even know, maybe a month later. I couldn't even tell you. It happened again in the middle of the night. I wake up at like, 3 o'clock in the morning and my stomach is hurting. I'm just like, what is going on? Um, this is probably TMI. It's not gas. I checked that out. That's not what it is. And then it happened again about a week and a half ago at my daughter's house. We had been moving her things all day and whatever, and I woke up in the middle of the night and it was hurting again. I was like, what is going on? Why is this happening? But again, I was in the midst of crazy life and I didn't have time to worry about it. I was able to get back to sleep eventually. Whatever. It went away. Not last night, the night before. What's today? Friday? So it must have been Wednesday night. Thursday morning. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and it was doing it again. And this time it was really bad. I could not get comfortable no matter what I did. I could not get back to sleep. And normally when this happens, it goes away after a few hours. This was not going away. I got up, I came in here to work, and it was just not going away, not going away, not going away. I thought to myself, what is going on? What is happening here? This isn't like normal. So I started Googling because that's what you do when you have medical issues. You Google it and you figure it out yourself. Um, and all the symptoms led to gallstones, something with my gallbladder, whatever. So I truly believe that that is what is happening with me. Now I'll be the first to admit I don't have the best diet. I don't. Um, so if that's what's happening here, then I'm going to have to make some changes because it really was bad yesterday. Like really bad. Like I was almost going to go to the doctor and I realized I probably should go to the doctor, but I just didn't have it in me to go to the doctor. I just didn't have it in me. So I took a shower. I slept in my chair for a little while. It's still nothing was making it better. It was subsiding slightly because I didn't eat anything. I didn't drink my normal diet soda, which, from what I understand, soda's bad for that kind of thing. Anyway, long story short, I feel like I have an issue with my gallbladder. We'll see what I do. Who knows what I'll do? So, anyways, I could not make this happen last night. There was just no way I could do that. So here we are. I feel a lot better this morning. I don't have any pain this morning. I feel a little off, I guess, how that works out. And Kathleen, I know you're right. Everyone's right. I need to go. But now that I'm not having the issue, you go in and you say, oh, I think I have this problem. Do they just look at you like you're nuts? I mean, because if it's not happening, how do they even figure it out? Anyways, I'm sure they have a way of doing that. But I don't look forward to going to the doctor, number one. Number two, having them not know what's wrong with you, not being able to figure it out, having you do all these tests that cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And then they tell you that they don't know. I mean, that's happened to me more than once when I've gone to the doctor. And it's so frustrating. And I don't have time for that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I probably will eventually get it taken care of or do something about it or go and have somebody tell me what's really wrong with me. But not today, because today I'm busy. So anyways, that's my story. And like I said, I don't feel perfect today, but I feel lots better. So there you go. So we'll see what I do. I'll keep you guys informed as to what I end up doing. I guess the worst case scenario, and maybe it's not even a worst case scenario, is that they just remove your gallbladder. From what I've read, and of course, I'm not a doctor. I'm looking on the internet for doctor information. I know that everyone does that, and it's not always factual. I get that. But it sounds like if you have gallstones, they won't go away. They'll just keep coming back until you get your gallbladder removed. So that's kind of what I've discovered. Everybody has gallstones, but not everybody is affected by their gallstones, from what the internet tells me. And those of us that are affected by gallstones, if that's what I have, they will never go away. They will never stop being a problem until you get your gallbladder removed. So I guess potentially that's what I have in my future. But anyways, who cares? So last week I was not live because my daughter is here. She has moved in for the summer and she is upstairs working right now. Well, I guess when I say working, she is studying for her CPA exam. It is a little more difficult than she thought it was going to be. So she's a little frustrated with that. And so she's kind of freaking out because the information is not just coming to her super quickly, which, it is what it is. You've kind of had a fairly easy ride in what you've been doing because everything's made sense. And now you're into some stuff that doesn't particularly make sense right now, but you will figure it out because you're not a dumb person. You know what I mean? You can figure it out. It'll just take a little more time. So she and I are going to go do a little bit of grocery shopping this afternoon. She's going to take the afternoon off, and so am I. We're going to go do some grocery shopping. I'm going to get some healthy foods for my new diet. I'm not going to completely change my diet. Well, unless I have to. We'll see what happens. But anyways, so we're going to go shopping and hang out a little bit because she's been upstairs working all week long. I've been down here working all week long. So there you go. All right. My son is coming over for dinner on Sunday. He thinks he has to work on Monday. So, and some of you are telling me you've had your gallbladder taken out. And from what I understand, it's not a big deal to have it done. But of course, it's just one more thing you have to get on your schedule and you have to have it done. And then I'm sure there's a little bit of recovery time and blah, blah, blah. Beverly says it could be my appendix. That is also a possibility. I did not even look that up because all the pain that I was having was totally spot on with gallbladder problems. So there you go. Somebody said they waited too long. Oh, Jody. Yeah, you're probably right. Oh, God. I don't know what I'm going to do. Today I know what we're going to do. We are going to do some stamping with a super cute stamp set called Country Birdhouse. Anyway, so my son's coming over. His poor little doggy. I told you guys he got a doggy. He was playing with his best friend lives next to him and also has a dog. His dog is bigger because he's older. So they were playing and accidentally the bigger dog tore the little dog's eyelid. Ew, gross. I know, right? So we took him to the vet. They said that they thought it would heal without doing anything except giving him antibiotics. So the poor doggy's been wearing the cone of shame for 4 days now. So he's going to bring him out so I can give him a little bit of love. Maybe a little bit of love from grandma will make him feel better. Probably not, but I'm going to try. So anyways, that's all that's going on. We've been having some really weird weather. We had a bunch of snow yesterday. Not really at my house. We had some snow at my house, but 30 miles from me, there was significant snow stacking up. So hello, May 23rd. Winter's not over yet. Today it's sunny. I think it's supposed to get icky again for the weekend, of course, because it's Memorial Day. And yeah, so we'll have my son here on Sunday. We're going to have some steak. I got to go buy some today. I'm not really a big steak fan, and neither is my daughter, but my husband and my son, men, and they love their steak. So they're going to have steak. We'll probably have some kind of chicken dish. Who knows? Anyway, now that all that's out of the way, thank you guys so much for your good wishes on my post last night when I said I wasn't going to be able to live because I wasn't feeling well. Thank you so much for all the love. I appreciate that very much. And yeah, I'm glad to be back. And like I said, I feel pretty good today. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to flip the camera and we're going to start the show. And then we will make some really cute cards. Well, at least I think they're cute. I'm sure you'll think they're cute too. All right, let me tap my little button twice to flip my view. And then let me get my little leveler on here so I can make sure that the view is level because I don't like when it's off. That bothers me. There we go. We are level. Okay, so as you can see, I have a few things here that don't necessarily, we're not talking about just yet. I wanted to share with you the cards that I made the last time I was live, which I think was a couple weeks ago. Oh, you guys are talking about how it can rupture. I know I read that, so I really need to do something, but I can't do it today. Or maybe I can. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, these are my sketched butterfly cards that were my class kit to go for the past 2 weeks. So anybody who placed an order with me in the last 2 weeks, this is the card kit that you're going to get in the mail from me. I'm going to be working on this tonight and tomorrow and getting them out of here. So thank you for all of you that have ordered. I appreciate that very much. Oh, and then the embellishment was these little iridescent gems that are super cute. This week, we are using the Country Birdhouse bundle. The stamps and the dies. What did I do with the dies? Huh. Oh, found him. Here we go. Country Birdhouse bundle is my featured bundle of the week. And so you will need the bundle to create the cards as I have designed them. And yeah, and of course you can order it in my store, shoppingwithbarb.com, link in the description along with the host code. If you use my host code and your order is $35 or more, you will get the kit to make the cards, all the cut pieces. If your order is 75 or more, you will get these amazing in color shimmer gems. I think they're unorderable right now, but I have enough. And then if it's $50, then you also get my global creative project tutorial, which is an emailed file which has a lot of amazing projects for you in it. So other than that, what else do we have? I have a couple of cards that I got in the mail. I got a card from one of my customers letting me know to remove one of her good friends from my mailing list because unfortunately she passed away. So that was a very nice thing for her to send me the card and let me know about it. I'm terribly sorry for your loss, Debbie. And then I did get this fun card from one of my team members because she was redeeming some of her Rockstar cards for a thing that I offer to my team members. So yeah, so I got some fun stuff there. That was about it. What else are we doing? Here's my host code for the week, 63FKQXDG. So please use that when you order, as long as your orders are less than $150. And there you go. My In Color Club, we've started it, but you can start anytime. It's just basically it's a 5-month thing. So if you still are debating whether you want to join an In Color Club or not, I still have room. I will always have room, so you can just join anytime you want. So the link is in the description of this video if you're interested in doing that. I would love to have more people in my club. Again, my global tutorial, this is for anybody who orders $50 or more in my online store. And you can also purchase this by itself for $17 off my blog. The Everyday Details class is still available. I forgot to print out a graphic for this, but our catalog kickoff, we have 9 cards in that kit, and it's $55, and the link is in the description. I have 3 of those kits left if anyone's interested. I would love to hook you up with some projects out of the new catalog. Still have a couple of the Latte Love kits. I think I have 2 Trusty Tools kits. They do come with the Designer Series paper and the cork rounds. And then all the pieces and parts and fabulous papers. Adhesive kits, I always have these for sale, so you guys know if you're interested in getting an adhesive kit in a cute little rainbow bag, I can hook you up with that. So they come in these rainbow bags. I do have a few different colors. If you have a favorite color, let me know. I'm happy to send you that color if I have it. And there you go. And then, of course, Stamp Happy Academy, we always talk about this because the PDF file from today's class will be loaded into Stamp Happy Academy for you. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy that. And I hope you guys enjoy today. What is this? Oh, this is our join special for the month of May. I almost forgot about that. If you're interested in becoming a demonstrator, you really have nothing to lose. You have until basically the end of October to sell/buy, no judgment, $300. That's catalog price. And if you do it in the month of May, you get $125 worth of product of your choice. Plus, you're going to receive $82 in these amazing in-color items, the in-color ink pads, the Stampin' Write markers, assorted cardstock kit, and the Designer Series paper. You get all of that, the $125 plus the $82, only $99. No shipping and only tax if you live in a state where there is tax, because some aren't. And then again, our catalog kickoff, we are just wrapping that up today. We posted the winners for the challenges. So I hope you girls enjoyed that. Those of you that joined us, it was really a lot of fun and we thoroughly enjoyed it. So let's get started on project number 1 here. Oh, that's my cardstock kit. Let me pull all the goodies out of here for you. And whoops. Okay. So we are using the In Color Designer Series paper. You will get a little square of this. This is a 3x3. This is the peach pie. There are, of course, all the other colors and patterns in the package. I think I got this right. Anyways, this is probably a double package. I've got a couple of things going on here that I'm using this for. But anyway, you're going to get a 3x3 piece of that in your kit. You're also going to get the Balmy Blue cardstock. This is a 5.5 by 8.5. We have a piece of pumpkin pie. This measures 3 3/4 by 6. We have a strip of white. This is a, what is this? This is a no, 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. I had to look on my list here quick. Then we have another piece of white. This one is, I can't even read my own handwriting. Does that ever happen to you? 3 1/2 by 4. And then you're going to get some scraps to do some die cutting. So you can see I've got this scrap of balmy blue here. And you're going to cut out one of the roof pieces and the little perch, along with 3 of those little flowers. You're also going to get a little scrap of pumpkin pie so that you can get another flower out of pumpkin pie. So this is what we need. And then, of course, we've got our little birdie stamped there. So you'll get a scrap to get all these die cuts out of here. Hello, everyone who's joining me. I know this is a weird time for me, and I appreciate you guys watching. If you wouldn't mind sharing the video, that would be awesome to get more people to be aware that I had to adjust my time for being sick. So there you go. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to do a bit of stamping. So we need to stamp our birdhouse, and we're going to stamp our birdhouse on this piece of designer series paper. So you can do it with the stripes this way, you can do it with the stripes that way, or if you want to use the leaf pattern on the back, you can totally do that too. So I'm going to ink this up in some black, some memento. I'm not really going to do it because I don't want to stamp it on this piece of paper because I don't necessarily need to, but I wanted to share with you how you would go about stamping it. So pretend this is inked up in black. Now be careful. I found I'm a heavy-handed stamper. I don't know if you are, maybe you are. This little spot right here that doesn't actually get printed, it doesn't actually stamp on your cards, but it can cause a problem if you get ink on it and you press too hard. So my recommendation, if you are a heavy-handed stamper, is just to put a little piece of tape in there and cover that up so you don't get ink on it when you're inking it up, okay? So ink it up, then you would remove the tape. Okay. And then what you want to do is whatever way you want your paper to go, you want to stamp it just at the top of the scallop. So there's these little scallops here. And when you put it down, you want to have just right at the top of the scallops be at the top of your paper. Okay. And then you're going to stamp it best centered as best you can. Okay. And then you're going to cut it out. And then this is what you get. So you can see just above the scallop line is where I stamped it. And then I have a little bit left over down here. And that is what then you get because you're going to cut it out with the birdhouse die out of the birdhouse die set. So there's a really nice die right there. And that'll cut that out perfectly. You're also going to get a scrap of white that you can crop out the little scallop piece for this. And we are going to go ahead and just add that on. So I'm just going to do that right now. That piece and this piece. I'm going to use some liquid glue and I'm just going to kind of barely add some into the little scallops here. And then maybe outside here. And then this piece here, because we are going to add the blue. So I'm going to place this. I want it to cover up the stamped marks. Okay, so I don't want to be able to see my black stamping. I want to try to get this on here so that I can't see the black stamping. So I don't see my imprint there. So we're just, oh, good Lord. That's why you want to use liquid glue. So then you have some time to move it around if you need to. And this is really crooked. Somebody needs to scooch that out just a bit. Okay, there we go. I think we're golden here. Get that pressed into place. And then this little guy is just going to go right outside of our scallop piece. So I guess you can kind of stick it right there at the top and then just bring it in. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Now, you will notice that I do have some of the designer series paper peeking out there. I don't want to see that, so I am going to cut that off. I'm just going to kind of come in here with my scissors and I'm just going to snip any of that off. Just a tiny bit. And now you don't have to do that. That's just me being a little bit anal because I am a little bit anal. And I'm kind of particular about how my cards look. So that's just me. Okay. One thing I forgot to do was to cut the circle out of this. So I'll just quickly bring in a mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I will find the little circle piece that is in here. Come out, there we go. And I'm going to set up my plates. So here we go. I'm going to add my circle here. I think I'm going to use some Post-it tape to keep it in place because I don't really want it to move around. I want it to just cut the middle out really nicely. So when I actually die cut the house, I probably should have done this already, but I didn't. So what are you going to do? Okay. And then I'm going to put my other plate in, and then I'm going to crank this through, and then I should have a hole in my birdhouse. And because I used some Post-it tape, hopefully it will, there, yep, kept it right where I wanted it. Excellent. All right, so I see I've got some little goobers here, so I'm going to use a little bit of an adhesive eraser to get rid of that. Okay, so that's what we have so far with the birdhouse. And then this little circle piece you can do, if you want to do something with it, you can. It's kind of fun. It's a little donut piece. I'm not going to, but you can. There's also this little tiny, where did that just go? A little tiny circle that, well, there's this little tiny circle here that also gets cropped out when you do that. Oh, here it is right here. And so you may want to use that as just a dot for something. So I'm just going to kind of push that out of the way because I'm not using them per se for this particular project. All right, let me put my circle back, my Post-it tape back. Okay, so then we're going to bring in the, I don't even know what you call this, the base, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I'm going to stamp my phrase that says "Hello Friend" on there, kind of on the right edge. And since it is photopolymer, I think I'm going to bring in a foam mat just to kind of help me make sure I get it where I want it. And I'm going to do it on the right edge. I may have to scooch this down so I can actually see, because I kind of need to hover my head over the top so I can sort of see where all the letters are, and then I'm going to hopefully get it on there perfectly centered from top to bottom anyway, obviously not from side to side. All right, and then we're going to add this to the birdhouse. Now I'm pretty much only going to stick the glue in the middle because I'm actually going to put this on above where the actual line is, okay? Because I want it to be a little shorter than this is going to design it to be, because I want it to fit in a specific place. Okay, so again, I've got some pieces sticking off. I don't want to see those, so I'm just going to very easily snip those off. And then we're going to set this aside for just a moment, and we're going to work on our main card base here. So this is a Balmy Blue 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to get my trimmer. All right, so we are going to score this at, make sure I don't have ink in my hands. We're going to score it at 3 inches. Get the cutting blade out of the way. And then we're going to scoot it over to 6. Okay. And then we're going to scoot it over to 7 1/4. Okay. And then we also have a piece of pumpkin pie. This I said was 3 3/4 by 6. So we are going to score this at 1 3/4. So the long side is at the top, and then we're going to score it at 1 3/4. Okay. So we're going to fold this in half, and I'm going to burnish it with my bone folder. There we go. And then I'm going to fold this piece up. And I'm trying to just make sure that it lines up on the sides here. Okay. And then before I do my last score, I am going to do a little stamping. So I'm going to bring in my little skinny wood pattern piece here and my Balmy Blue ink. And I'm just going to add some wood just on the edges here. So you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to stamp some wood image right there. Kind of flip my stamp around and stamp it again, ink it up again, stamp it maybe right there, and then ink it up again and do something like that. So now I'll just come back and kind of fill in wherever I have some empty spots. that. And I probably don't even need to do this, honestly, because I think it's going to be enough. So then I'm going to come over to this side and I'm going to do the same thing. Flipping my stamp around, just so the wood doesn't look exactly the same every time I stamp it. So that's it's kind of a little bit of a trick, if you will. Okay. And then we're going to do this again, just to make sure that we have inked wood spots all over where we might need them. So this is going to come down and cover. So we are good. We don't need to go any farther. We don't need to have it meet in the middle or anything. All right. So we also have this piece of white that we're going to bring in, and we're going to stamp this little chain image right in the middle at the top. So we're going to put the birdhouse on here like this. And then we're going to have that little chain image go right above that. So this is 3.5 inches wide. So if you want to make it perfect, you can. What's half of 3.5? 1 3/4. So I'm going to put my ruler on here and I'm going to make a tiny little pencil line here at 1 3/4. And then I'm going to ink up my little chain. And you don't have to do this part if you don't feel like doing this part, but it's just kind of fun to use the little chain image. And so I'm just kind of looking at my paper and I'm kind of seeing where the chain is, where my pencil mark is. And I'm just going to try to stamp that chain, hopefully in the middle of my pencil mark. And then as soon as that's dried, then I can remove that pencil mark. So we're going to end up putting our little birdhouse on here like this. So it's kind of hanging from the chain. But we do need to bring our birdie in. And so here is a bird. Let's see, what did I do? I had some pieces that I already had cut out. And I have this little container that's empty. Where is my bird? Well, that is unfortunate, but whatever. Okay, so we've got the bird here. To make it be a little bit darker blue, I'm going to color it in with my dark balmy blue blend. Okay, so I'm going to avoid the eye and avoid the beak. And I only need to bring the color down about this far. Okay, because when I cut it out, I'm only going to be able to see a little part of it. And then I'm going to bring in a pumpkin pie and I'm going to color the beak. So I have an orange beak and then the balmy blue. So we need to cut this out. So I'm going to get the die, the little bird die here. Just about lost my circle. Digging into my die set here. Here is the bird. And then here is my piece of tape once again. So I'm going to lay the bird, get that lined up as best I can here. I think I need to scooch it down a little bit more so I can actually look right over the top of it. Okay, bring that baby boss back in here. We'll do it again. We've got our plate number 1, plate number 2, another plate number 2, and then we should be able to run this through pretty easily. Hopefully my tape stayed where I wanted it to stay, and thus my bird is cut out pretty good. Get that. There we go. And so our bird is now going to go behind our birdhouse. Okay, so he's going to kind of just stick his little cute little face out, about like so. So we can go ahead and add a little glue right outside the hole. And then if you want, you can bring in a silicone mat, lay the bird down, and then kind of come down over the hole, and then just kind of press into place where you want the bird. Now, of course, we have the little tail sticking out. We don't want that. We're just going to cut that off. All right. So now we can get that out of here too. And then we can add some dimensionals to the back. And I have a finished card where I did use this pattern on the front. So I can share that with you here in just a second. Let's get this paper backings off here. This is kind of a fun fold card, if you will. Let's see. I'm just trying to see how we've got people watching. We do. Yay. Thank you guys for coming today. I appreciate it so much, as I wasn't feeling the greatest yesterday. Okay. And I think I have some glue right here, which I don't really want on there if I'm being honest. Okay. And then this is going to fit right here in this area. So we'll go ahead and add some glue there. And we'll get this in here. Try to center it as best we can. There we go. Hello, Diane. And we have Nell, who's also joining us. Thank you, girls, for coming. I appreciate it. All right, so we've got that. Now we can finish the fold here, where we're going to get that burnished down. Try to get everything nice and crisp. So this is what we have. Super fun. Now we're going to add this layer. So I'm just going to add some glue right back here, maybe about 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom, because I don't want to go over, you know. And then we're just going to find the bottom here and the center as best we can. And since we have liquid glue, we have a little bit of wiggle time here. I can't quite tell if I got that centered. I mean, I think I did, but maybe I don't. Get that? Okay. And then we're going to add a little glue right here, just a tiny amount, because we don't want it to be, you can see we only have about 1/2 of an inch here to work with. And if we put too much glue on there, like I just literally did, then it's going to squish out. Okay. We have that. And then we have this white layer here. So if you wanted to do any stamping on it, you sure can. I'm just going to add a little flower to the back. So this is where you would like add your message or something on the back here. Okay. So remember, if you place a $35 or more order in my online store between now and the 29th of May, I'm getting a hot flash, then I'll send you the kit to make this card along with the other cards that we're going to make. So now we're not quite done yet. We have a few more things to add. We need to add this flower, this flower, this flower, this little flower I'm going to add on the back. I was just going to just stick it right here just to jazz up a little bit of the back. And then this little flower here, I'm going to color, again, I'm going to bring in my dark balmy blue blend, and I'm going to color it so that it is a slightly different shade of balmy blue. This is the beauty of using your blends on colored cardstock. You can actually change the tone of the cardstock so it looks like you have more than one tone of the same color. So this is just going to make my little flower be a little darker than the actual balmy blue cardstock. So it's going to look like I have another balmy blue-ish shade. So I usually go over them once or twice. It depends. This one I kind of felt like I needed to go twice. And so you can see now how we have 2 shades of the same color. Now this will get a little lighter as it dries, but it will still be a bit darker. Okay, so this little guy I'm going to add. Just going to add a little bit of glue to 2 of those petals, and I'm going to kind of stick that right here on the edge a little bit. And then this little guy here, I'm going to stick right below that. You can see it's still wet a little bit. So I'm going to stick that about right there. And then my pumpkin pie, I'm going to add with a mini dimensional. Mini dimensional is perfect for the center of this little guy. And then we're going to add that right here at the edge of the base of our little birdhouse. Then we're going to bring in our gems, and we're going to use the peach pie gems. So our color combo is peach pie, pumpkin pie, and balmy blue. So I'm going to add the large gem into the large flower. And then I'm going to add, a smaller gem to each of these smaller flowers. Okay. Isn't that adorable? Now here it is using the opposite side of the paper. So you can choose whether you like the striped pattern better or the leafy pattern better. Otherwise, everything is the same. Little flower on the back and everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Remember that if your order is over 75, you will get the gems also in your kit. So that is card number 1. Let me put that aside for the moment while I do a little bit of cleanup here. Thanks, Bonnie. You guys are liking my birdhouse card. Yay. I kind of like it too. I think it's really cute. And that little chain piece, that little chain image, I think is adorable. So I was really happy that I got to incorporate that into the card as well. Okay, I think we have all the stuff that I don't need out of the way here, because I think I'm still going to need the birdhouse. Obviously, I'm going to need my take your pick tool, because, right? Okay, now we're going to move on to card number 2. And this one is another fun one. I hope you enjoy it. So here are our pieces and parts. All right, so I've got Misty Moonlight is the base of the card. So this is a 5.5 by 8.5 layer of Misty Moonlight. Then we have a piece of Flirty Flamingo, and you can see I have die cut some things out of it. Now, I die cut these things out of it kind of before I actually finished the card because I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. And so I don't end up using any of the flowers. But you know what? It's a layer that's going to be covered by another layer, so you might as well get out of it what you can, right? So I did die cut the circle. And I am going to be using the tiny little center of the circle here in just a minute when we get the card finished. So, but the rest of the pieces I'm not actually going to use on this card, but you could use them on something else. Okay, so the layer of Flirty Flamingo is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then I've got a petal pink layer here that is 3 3/4 by 5. And it is embossed with, I can't even remember what it's called. I want to say the timber folder, and I will do that for you. So that will come to you like that. Where is it? Maybe it's, oh no, number 12. Timber 3D folder. It's on page 129. That's folder number 12. So I will do that for you. It will come already embossed. So we're going to have these two be layered together, obviously, onto our card base. You're going to get a scrap of pecan pie to cut out the birdhouse. And then you're going to get a piece of white. I'm going to cut out a 1 3/4 inch circle for you. And then you're going to need to cut out this very skinny piece of white. That is a die in the set. Where is it at? So here's this little piece right here. And then you're going to stamp 3 little flowers on the bottom here of that piece. And so what I'm going to do here is we are going to stamp a bird on this. Where's my bird? Birdie. Did I put him in the other bin? Probably I did. All right, so we're going to stamp a bird on this circle. So I'm just inking it up in Memento. And then I'm going to bring in my foam mat just because it's a photopolymer stamp. And so I'm just going to stick him kind of like that. I don't need his full tail on there because he's just going to like be poking his little face through the piece of wood or the birdhouse. So, okay. All right. So we have that. We need to color in the bird. What am I coloring him? I've got him over here, but I can't remember. Yes, here we go. Okay. I need the lid to my ink. Here we go. So I'm going to be using Misty Moonlight. I have the light and the dark here, but I think I'm only actually using the light. I have a light Flirty Flamingo. And then I have both of my petal pinks. So to start out with for the bird, I'm going to do my Misty Moonlight. And again, you don't have to do the whole bird. You just have to do enough so that when he's poking his little head through the hole in the birdhouse that you'll be able to see him. So I'm just going to kind of go something like this. And then over. And then I'm going to bring in my Flirty Flamingo. And I'm just going to kind of go right around the edge of the wings, just a little bit. Like that. And while I have this out, I can go ahead and do the centers of these flowers with my Flirty Flamingo. And since I've got them here, I'm going to actually color the leaves. Now I'm doing the leaves in Misty Moonlight because, as I always say, I don't always color things the way you would actually find them in nature. I color things to be the color that I need them to go with whatever colors I'm using on my project. So while you probably won't see Misty Moonlight leaves in nature, you will find them on Barb's cards. Okay. And then I've got the dark petal pink marker to finish up the flower here. And I just kind of liked how the Flirty Flamingo and the Petal Pink kind of go together. I just really liked how the Flirty Flamingo just added a little bit of pop to the petals of the flowers. So we'll just go around that and then come back here to the bird, and we're just going to add the petal pink to the bird. Oh, I guess I need to do his little beak. And actually, my daughter was down here yesterday when I was making cards, kind of half making cards, half not feeling well. And she's like, you didn't even color that all the way in. So that was an ode to her. Okay, so you would then take the little die that's in the set and you would cut out all these little flowers. So there's 3 of them, and I have them here. 1, 2, 3. The bird, we're not going to cut out because we're going to just have him poke his little head through the birdhouse. So we're done with our scrap of white. You're also going to get a scrap of Misty Moonlight in your kit, and you're going to need to cut out this other birdhouse topper piece. Whoops, that one's already stamped. We want one that's not. This one that isn't stamped for the base, and then you're going to cut out a bow. Okay. So here's the 3 pieces that we're going to get. Now, again, we are going to make this bow a little darker so that it stands out from the rest of the Misty Moonlight things that we've got going on here. So I am going to bring in the dark marker, and we are going to color our little bow, our little string here, with the dark Misty Moonlight marker. So it's this Misty Moonlight cardstock, Misty Moonlight marker. And like I said, I just love doing this because it really just adds, it just levels your projects up when you can pretend that you have more than one shade of your cardstock. So you can really do a lot of fun things with this. I love adding flowers, like layering flowers with the same color, but doing this, and then they really pop. Okay, so there we go. We've got that colored in the dark, so you can see the difference, what a difference that makes, coloring it darker. It's pretty amazing. Okay. We can now start to glue some stuff together here. So I'm going to bring in my liquid glue and go around this layer of Flirty Flamingo. And then I'm going to add my embossed piece to it. Now, when I have dry embossed pieces of cardstock, like this layer of timber here, I definitely like to use liquid glue when I adhere them. I just feel like it holds really, really well. All right, so we're going to center this as best we can here. Okay, got that. Our little, I keep pulling, well, as you can tell, I guess I can just leave it. I stamped the word happy birthday. It does come in the set. I stamped it in Misty Moonlight on the Misty Moonlight banner piece. So I'll just throw that in my bucket and I'll use that for something else. Okay, so we have our pieces of our birdhouse up here. We have that, we have that. Now we need to get a birdhouse. So let's go ahead and ink up the birdhouse in the pecan pie. And again, I am a pretty heavy-handed stamper, so I am going to take a piece of Scotch tape and I'm going to mask off this little section here. I actually thought about cutting it off because I do stamp surgery all the time, but I felt like it would really compromise the integrity of the whole thing, so I'm not going to cut it off. So this is what I'm just going to do. When I go to use it, I'm going to do this instead, just to make sure that I don't get that stamped on my projects. And you're probably thinking, well, why do you even know about that? Because I've already done it. So I was inking up my birdhouse yesterday when I wasn't feeling so great, and I pressed it down really, really hard, and I got this piece in the center here. And I don't want that on my card, so I decided that I would need to put a piece of tape in there just for my own self. Again, you all probably aren't heavy-handed stampers like me, and it might not bother you, but if it does, that's a good way. So I'm going to huff on that real quick again, since I just was not paying attention for a second. Okay, and again, no mark right there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add some of that wood grain, but I only want to add the wood grain in here and then on this base piece. Now the base piece is pretty simple because I can just ink up my wood piece and I can stamp it a couple of times right there. And then I have some wood action going on. But if I try to like stamp it in here, I'm going to run into this and all that. So I just cut myself out a template out of copy paper. I stamped it on there. I cut out the whole middle. Okay, so now all I have to do is place this over my birdhouse and get it covered for the most part. And then I can just simply start stamping my wood images. And I am going to cut the circle out of the middle here, so I don't need to worry about that too much. And what am I doing? I don't want to get my circle. I'm going to flip this stamp upside down, and we're going to do that. And we're going to come over here and stamp one. You can see how well that works. At least I think it works really well. So that when you peel that off, you've got this nice wood grain pattern, but it doesn't go outside the lines of what you're trying to do. So now we need to cut this out. Where's my machine? Oh, good Lord. Oh, it's possible I might have broke it. Let's just see if we can put it back together. I don't know if I broke it or not. Yikes. Okay, hold on here. If I broke it, I have another one, but I don't want it to be broken. Am I even putting this on the right way? I think so. Yeah, I think so. Oh my gosh, you guys, can you believe that? I picked it up not using the handle, and well, this is going to be a project for another day. Hold on. Wow, who knew that was going to happen? Okay, so I do have my little white one here that will work just fine because it's not broken. You can probably have my husband help me. He's pretty handy. Okay, so we are going to make our thing here. Where's my dies? Here we go. So we need the birdhouse and the circle. Okay, so let's get the birdhouse on here. And I am going to go ahead and use some of my Post-it tape because I really like using Post-it tape to keep things in place. Well, gosh, I really hope I can fix that. Not surprised. Oh, whoops, that's not going to work because I have to put my circle there. Okay. Now we can get the circle on there and we can add, I don't know what I did with my other piece of tape, but we're going to get this figured out. Okay, so the circle goes right in the middle of everything. That, oh my gosh, and then I just moved this out of the way. Obviously, now my show is turning into a nightmare. There, stick down, stay. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get that in there, get that on the top. And we're going to push that in, crank it through. Okay. And I'm going to put that somewhere where I don't have to break it again, hopefully. And then here we are with the old birdhouse. Gosh, I tell you, whew, some days are better than others, right? And today, it's just not going to be one of those days, I have a feeling. Okay, so we can put all this aside. We don't need that anymore, I don't think. So this is what we have, our little birdhouse. Now, if you wanted to, you can add the little detail die stamp that comes in the set. You can add that to the scallops if you want. I'm not doing it for this one, but you can if you want to. And then you see I did color in that little circle here with the pecan pie blend. So I am going to do that on this one. I do like how that looks. There we go. Okay. That. So this is what we have. So then we're going to bring our little bird friend in. And like I said, he's just going to kind of poke his little head out a little bit from behind there. And we can just use a piece of Scotch tape to tape that down. And then we'll just cut off the excess, just like that. And I have a piece of tape that is, oh, there we go with that. Okay, so we have that. So now we're going to bring in our pieces here that we have. So the little skinny white piece, obviously you can see where that's going to go. And so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue in both of these areas because I'm going to stick both of these pieces on here. Try not to have too much so that it squishes out all over and makes a mess, because I'm pretty good about doing that sometimes too. Okay. I'm going to try the white piece first. So I'm going to try to hold it there, bring it up to the top, and then push it over. There we go. And then bring it down onto this other side. Wow, I think we did a pretty good job with that. Now we're going to bring this piece in, get it up there at the top in the point, and then bring it down. And as you can see, sometimes, depending on how you do it, you may end up with a little excess of the pecan pie underneath there. If you don't like it, you can just snip it off however you want to do it, like that. I can come over here and do the same thing. Snip that off. And then if I want to come up over here, I can, to get underneath this piece as well. There we go. Okay. Then we're going to add our little piece down here. So I didn't actually need to do that now that I'm looking at it because I'm covering that up. So if you're not going to cover it up, then you would want to do it. But if you are going to cover it up, then it's not necessary. So it wasn't necessary. But then I just shared with you how I did it anyway. Okay, so I'm going to put this on so that it is evenly spaced all the way around, hopefully. Get that on there. So cute. All right. And then that is going to go onto our card like this, as far as I know. Got a cheater picture here on my other phone. Yep, that looks about right. Then we're going to end up putting our dark colored bow up here so you can see, hopefully you can see the difference. Just coloring that bow kind of makes a big difference in letting it make its own, that it can hold its own there. Then I have that little tiny circle here that I'm going to stick in the middle of the bow. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of glue here and then get that little circle. Whoops, it does not want to go right side up so that I can get it on here. And I probably could use some tweezers or something, but anyway. Okay, so we got that. So we are going to put the birdhouse on here, but we also have our cute little flowers to add. And so I'm going to add one of them, add a little glue here, and I am going to kind of tuck it under. So right here, kind of at the edge of the birdhouse. There we go. And then we're going to add another one here. And this one's going to be over to the side here. We're going to try and tuck that in just a little bit, push it down in there. And then finally, this little guy here. And actually what I'm going to do with him is I'm just going to take a tiny bit of glue and I'm just going to stick that behind also. So there we have 3 little flowers. So cute. And I'm going to add, let's see if I want to do this with, I feel like I'm not going to do it with dimensionals because then my bow is going to be a little bit off. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to go ahead and use just regular glue to get this set on the card where I want it. My picture just went away. So this is about a 1/4 inch from the bottom, I guess. There we go. And then I'm going to add the bow. If I can pick it up again. I don't have any fingernails really. So I'm going to add some glue to the bow and just going to be very careful just to try to add some glue right there. And then we have our house sitting on here. And then we're going to get the bow kind of right at the top like that. Oh my gosh, so stinking cute. Okay, this I think we probably could use dimensionals on, if I can find my dimensionals. Here we go. So we're going to do 5 like I normally do. Oh, yay, I'm glad you guys like this. I really wanted to do something with this set that didn't use the designer series paper that it was paired with in the catalog. Just because, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that paper. There's nothing wrong with that paper. It's gorgeous, and it's kind of wood patterns, and then there's just, the paper's fun. But I really wanted to see if I could make some fun cards without using that paper. Just, you know, just other colors and stuff like that. So, oh my gosh, how cute is that? And then the inside layer, I just stamped a bunch of flowers at the bottom and colored them the same as I did all the other ones. And now this particular card, I'm not going to put any bling on because, well, the colors I chose, the bling doesn't really match, if you will. And so I didn't want to add any. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we can, but I don't think so, because the purple definitely won't work. The pink is kind of like not flirty flamingo, so it's not really the right color. So I just don't feel like we're going to do gems on this. So there we go. Oh, someone said they didn't order the DSP. Yes, Diana, I get it. We all have so much DSP. So now you can have an idea with the card or with the bundle without using the DSP. So there you go. So there's card number 2 of the class. I hope you guys liked that. Let me go ahead and clean up my bits here real quick so that we can move on to our final card, which doesn't use the birdhouse at all. I wanted to come up with something that also did not use the birdhouse because the flower images in this set are really cute all by themselves. I don't think that you have to use the birdhouse on every card that you make with this set, so we're not. All right. So let me get some more of this stuff out of the way here and scooch some of this stuff over to the side. Okay, so that was card number 2. And again, remember, if you place a $35 order in my online store between now and the 29th of May, I will send you a kit for that if your order is $35 or more. Okay, so this one, not using the birdhouse, we've got a basic black card base, 8.5 by 5.5. I have a 4 by 5.25 inch piece of white that's going to go on the inside that you can see I've already done some to, but it's going to be a surprise. Then we have a piece of Summer Splash that's 3.5 by 4.5, and I just went ahead and die cut some of the leafy pieces out of this layer. Another layer of black that's 3.125 by 4.125. And then I brought in some different designer series paper. This is the Unbounded Beauty designer series paper that I decided to pull into this. So you will get this piece also. This is a 3 by 4 of this pattern here. So this kind of dictated the colors that I chose for the card. You're going to get this Nested Essentials label. It is the, I think, 3rd largest of this particular shape. I think this is some kind of a polygon, if my math is correct. And then you're going to get a couple strips of Pretty in Pink and Petunia Pop, and you're going to want to get all 3 flowers out of that. Now there is also like a little half flower. I didn't use that. You could, if you scooch these together, you could get all 4, but I only needed the 3, so I got the same 3 already out of that. And then we also need a piece of white for 2 floral images, and then you'll get enough to do 2 floral images and a bird. Okay, so now I couldn't decide what color bird I wanted, so I actually have 3 different colors of birds here that I've already done. So this one I did Petunia Pop, this one I did the Summer Splash, and then this one I did some Petunia Pop and some Pretty in Pink. So we're going to kind of figure out what bird we want to add after we're done. And then there's just some other options. If you don't like the bird we chose, you can see what the other birds might look like. Okay, so we need to color these little floral images here, and we're using the same colors that are in the designer series paper. So we're going to start out with some light Pretty in Pink, and I'm just going to kind of do, I don't even know, just some random coloring here. And I've already cut these out, and I don't even really remember which way I colored them, but there's probably a lot of different ways you could do it. You know what I mean? You could use Petunia Pop for this flower. You could, whatever you want to do. So, but I'm going to use the light Pretty in Pink. Then I'm going to bring in the dark, and I'm going to kind of color in the other petals of this flower. And we can go ahead and get the middle. Oh, look at that. I forgot one of those petals. What was I doing? And one more here. I'm going to bring that back so I can complete the process of that flower there. Then we're going to use the light Summer Splash to do the leaves. So we're coloring all of our leaves Summer Splash. Even though in the real world, again, there's probably not a whole lot of Summer Splash leaves out there. But then, who knows? I haven't been everywhere in the world, so it's possible there is. Do that kind of stem piece there, come around that flower, and then we're going to bring in the light petunia pop, and I'm going to kind of do the base of these flowers in my light. And then we'll bring the dark in to do the top pieces of them. Get that one. And then this one here. There we go. And then we'll bring the dark and we'll just finish off the tops. And again, I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. I'm not a great colorist. So I just kind of dabble. And I'm usually pretty satisfied with what I come up with. I don't do a lot of highlighting and shading because I don't know how, but there you go. So then you would cut those out. There is a coordinating die that will cut those out. So here they are, already done. Oh, I guess I didn't color in the middle. So you can if you want to. And then we have our little pieces here that we've already cropped out. So it's not a super hard card. We're going to stamp our sentiment right across the center here. This is a sentiment in the set. The set has a lot of nice sentiments. They work out really well. Hold on. I had that piece of tape that had ink on it that I wanted to get rid of. All right, so I don't remember what this says, but it's nice. Okay, we're going to bring this back in. And again, we're going to try to center this as best we can. I think that worked. Okay. So there we have our sentiment. Cover up my ink so I don't stick my hand in it again. All right, so we're going to do some layering here. Pretty simple. We're just going to add this piece to the layer of black. So our designer series paper goes on our layer of black. And we're going to have a pretty slight border here, like a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. Something like that. And then I'm going to add this piece to this with my dimensionals, wherever they went. Oh, right here. So we're going to go one in the middle and then one in the corners. Try to get those backing pieces off. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to center. Oh, I guess I'm not in the frame, but I'm going to try to center this as best I can. I think that's centered. Yep. And then I'm going to add this little guy to the middle here of the whole thing, getting down to the end of my glue. And I always am worried about starting a new glue because a new glue is a little unpredictable and it can squirt out and make a mess just any given moment. All right, so we're just going to center this as best we can. It's not perfect. Oh well. And then this, of course, is going to go onto the main card here. So we'll just add some glue around all the goodies here. And not upside down. Good grief. How many of you have done that? Raise your hands. My hand is raised. Put my top layer on upside down, and then you're like, oh, for heaven's sakes. I actually sent one of those to my dad, and he got a good kick out of it. So there you go. Okay, so now we are going to bring in our little floral pieces, and we're just going to kind of add them around our sentiment. Something like that. I actually have a cheater on my phone for this card too, because I couldn't remember when I was working yesterday. I was not feeling my best, and I thought I better take a picture of how I've got this set up, because otherwise I won't remember, and then I'll I might not make it as nice. Okay, so I think I'm going to do something like that for over on that side. And then over here, I might do something. Where's the rest of my leaves? Oh, here we go. This is another little double leaf here. So I'll maybe end up tucking that behind there, and then bringing this little guy perhaps up here with another little leafy piece. And then the final thing I have is a bow. So I've got this little bow that I tied out of the Pretty in Pink ribbon, and I did want to stick that right here. And then I have a bird, and I want to stick a bird up here. I feel like this whole thing is crooked. Oh gosh. Anyway, so I can't decide if I want a petunia pop bird. I'll let you kind of savor that for a moment. Or the summer splash bird. Take a moment and savor that as well. Or the Pretty in Pink bird, which I think is too much pink. So I don't really like that. I don't feel like the bird really pops off the card. So my vote is no on this. So what do you guys think? The summer bird or the petunia bird? What are your, leave me a comment. And while you're doing that, I'm going to add all these goodies to the card. So petunia or the summer bird, because I've already decided I'm not putting the Pretty in Pink bird on there. That's out. All right, so I'm going to do that. We've got some voting going on, a little here and there. This little guy right there. Oh, you guys are saying, most of you are going petunia. I'm going to snip a little bit of this off, because you can do that. If you have to snip something off to get something to work, you're entitled to cut that off. Okay. Tony says the summer splash bird. All right. Oh, wait, do I want this? I think I kind of want it like that. Maybe. And then this. I have to tally up the votes here in just a moment. So give me a second here while I'm adding all the other pieces. Most of you are going petunia bird. That's honestly the one that I was going to go with too. But I like to let you guys have a voice just in case, because a lot of times you guys come up with better stuff than I do. So kudos to you. Okay. That. More petunia votes coming in. The petunia bird is the bird of choice. Pretty sure. Oops, that's too much. That. And then a little leaf. Oops. And we got some glue where we don't necessarily want it. Where do I want this? Off to the side here, like that. Okay, and then the bird, we're going petunia, because as I'm looking at, petunia does have the most votes, so it is what it is. It's majority rules here. Oh, you know what else I forgot to do? I forgot to announce the winner of my drawing from 2 weeks ago. So I need to grab that too. And here is our petunia bird. Yay! All right, let me get a glue dot for the ribbon. And then I have the inside already done. So we can just go ahead and add this to the inside. I just did the exact same thing, just the same flowers, and I just put them in the corners, and we're just going to add that to the inside. So don't forget, if you guys want the cards to make this, or the pieces to make these cards, just place your $35 order in my store, and I will send you a kit. Okay, let me push that out of the way, and now we need to add some gems. So I kind of wonder if I should go opposite, you know, like this should be opposite day. Like we should do petunia pop in the flowers that are Pretty in Pink. And then maybe Pretty in Pink in the flowers that are petunia pop. that right there. I think, yes, that's what I'm going to go for. So there it is, card number 3. We have the inside. I think this is crooked. I'm going to try to get this off here if I can. I just don't know if I can. It's crooked. I'm not happy. Anyway, we've got that. We've got this. And then we have this fun fold card here that will stand up on a desk. And yay, I hope you guys liked these. I had a lot of fun working with this set without the designer series papers that it was kind of suggested with, I guess is the term. So I hope you guys like this. Please be sure to give me a thumbs up, share the video. I think there's a little share link down there somewhere. That would be awesome if you could do that. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll keep you updated on the old gallbladder issue, if that is indeed what it is. So have a great weekend, Memorial Day. Be safe out there, whatever you're going to do, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, bye-bye. Where's my goodbye button? Here we go.